Okay, so right now, going to talk about discernment. What is discernment? Let's just start there for anyone that doesn't know. Discernment is the ability to read a situation, to read anything in the field, a person, um, a book, information, a situation, food, the vibration, the energy of food, the energy of things. And it's an inner knowing. And so, discernment, right now, we're in a situation, for example, globally, where discernment is key for survival. It always has been. This is nothing has changed there. But in today's world, with the bombardment of just information basically all around and the complexity of today's world, and then just obviously with all the mixed quality and veracity or truth of all information everywhere. I mean, from people, media, even just looking at something in a city with your eyes, you really don't always know if what you're seeing is real and truthful or fake and manipulation or deception. And so, just in this living in the world, I mean, unless to me you're really living off the grid, and you're in a tribe, you're in a really like tight-knit community. If you're in the urban jungle, right, if you're on the grid, I mean, you need intuition and discernment off the grid too, but especially when you're interacting with, you're consuming, you're relying on external sources of information anywhere in media and just from other people too, because you're interacting with other people that are consuming whatever media they are, right? And on, and they are how they are. And just in this time, there's so much misinformation that discernment is key. So true, actual, real, like solid discernment. So I'll give you an example where, and then another thing is that you may, like in my belief, there is no one person alive that has all the information. Nobody. Whoever, I don't know, whoever of you see this, think of your most trusted person that you know personally, and somebody that you rely on that you don't know, that a politician, an entertainer, spiritual leader, whatever, someone in your community. Oh no, that's somebody that you do know. But anybody, like, everybody has their own beliefs, their own biases, their own perspective. And there really is not any, there just factually is nobody that knows everything, or you wouldn't be here, right? What would be the point of being here if you already knew everything? You'd probably be somewhere else, because this place, this planet, this realm, this reality is a school. It's a school to learn and grow, learn your lessons, and grow and create and have fun, ideally, as much of the time while learning and creating in a high vibrational way, ideally. Yeah, and so, this video is it's really for people that consume media on a daily basis, consume news in particular, but really any, entertainment media as well, movies, and it all has impact. It all has influence on your beliefs and your thought, to the extent that you allow it is another thing too. Whatever depending on what your filters are. But anyways, an example where I think a lot of people get led astray in just over relying on any one person is looking up to other leaders on TV that they probably never even met on a screen, like Trump or Biden or Narendra Modi or I don't know, Andrew Huberman, whatever, a famous person on TV, on a screen, talking to you with authority about something or multiple things. All of these people you see on screens, and maybe you meet too in life, they are all on their journey. They're all learning, and they don't have all the answers. They don't know everything. They may have a lot of competence, a lot of charisma, and they may have a high level of knowledge and be in their heart and all these things. They may be really great people, but they're still learning too, and they still have their challenges, their lessons, most likely. I mean, to me, there's like maybe a few people, there's really like a minority that actually have it all, like have no ego, have no bias, are just always going to tell you the truth. They know themselves. They know they have their connection. They know their mission, right? They're in their heart. They're satisfied. They're enlightened, for lack of a better word. They're vibrating at a very high level. But basically, even those people I interact with, in my experience, there's very few people who really have no ego at all, that are just actually tolerant, actually accepting, actually compassionate to everyone. And even those people I see that are consistent in that, I still can see them slip sometimes. Some of them, I mean, it's rare for them, but it's like most people that really are enlightened, you never heard of them. And you maybe never will. They're not like famous, maybe they're just in their community, they're in their life, they're highly regarded where they live in their sphere of influence directly, and they have no media presence, they have no acclaim, no notoriety, whatever, and they're fine with that, and they're not seeking that, and they're just living their life. But as far as these people, anybody you see on a screen, or you heard you heard secondhand from somebody else, oh, this person knows everything, they have all the answers. Well, maybe they have a lot, but you have to decide that. You have to intuit that for yourself. You have to be able to read them yourself. You cannot rely on anybody else fundamentally to tell you how to think, how to act, how to live, what to write, how to be, all of these things. So an example I've been thinking of is like in politics, whatever side you're on, there is no savior. Like we have to save ourselves as a species with all these issues we deal with. So I'm a supporter of Trump, you could say. I'll just say that. I like him. I believe in him. I think he has integrity, seems to be of the people, seems to be in his heart. Very, very smart. A lot of energy, caring about the average person, has integrity and speaks truth. Speaks code but it's still a lot of times, but it's still truth in code as well, which is a whole other subject. But so just as an example, I see all these other people that are still like hero worshiping, idolizing him, or it could be somebody else on the other side of the spectrum or whatever. But just as an example, I can see where for a while he was complaining too much. He was not really talking about solutions to things. He was pointing out the truth of all the problems and all the crappy, psychotic, satanic people in our running things in our society at different levels. But he was not really like giving enough positivity. He wasn't saying like, here's what's working now. Oh, look at this positive development. And only like just recently, I see that he's starting to talk about good things happening more. And I get it, because he's a general in a sense too. He's not just a politician. So general, that's how he operates, really, is a military strategic leadership role. And that type of mindset isn't always geared towards thinking about or even talking so much about the good things that are happening. They're just trying to solve problems continuously and identify them and then solve them to the best that they can and lead others in those efforts to do so. But just like it's like the saying, don't put all your, you never want to put all of your eggs in one basket. So like that's not just true economically. You want to have diversity in your investments, right? You don't want to have just one income stream, or you never get anywhere. It's very difficult to grow in that. You want to have multiple revenue streams. Well, same with your information sources, same across the board, in politics, in philosophy, in religion, in spirituality, in manifestation, in science, of course, in science, in law, all the, whatever it is. You want multiple perspectives, and most importantly, you want to trust your own consistently. Like, you don't want to be doubting yourself consistently, and you don't ever want to just put all of your trust in any one person for any one thing. Like, it's like Tony Robbins is a good example. I love how his documentary, there's a really good documentary he made about his work a few years ago called I Am Not Your Guru. And it was perfect. It was so fitting, because this is like the end of the era of gurus is over, really. Like, everybody has to become their own guru. And when you go into that, even just that word and all the story and energy around it, the associations of that, what is the guru archetype? Oh, it's somebody that leads you, that instructs you to find yourself, to overcome your challenges and reach self-realization. Well, that person there are many of those people have been, are now, will be people to help lead other people to empower themselves and grow. But nobody empowers or does the growing for anybody else. Whoever you are, we're all empowering ourselves with right decisions, right thinking, right feeling, right being. We're all, learning our own lessons on our own. Ultimately, if you have a child in a classroom, the teacher isn't learning for the students are learning for themselves, in any classroom, in any context, anywhere, at any age, any situation. And so I just wanted to expound on that and emphasize that in these times, that you really want to have discernment, and you want to be fluid too as you take in. You want to be adaptable, right? Like, if you start to see new information, well, first you want to be, ideally, to grow and be adaptable. You want to be able to, you have the information you have the beliefs you have, but if you start noticing new information that conflicts or causes you to reevaluate some position or multiple positions you had, what as the case may be, then you want to be flexible. You don't want to be, it's like if you're in the railroad industry and a competitor, I don't know, you're a railroad company owner, and you see a competitor has a new model, and it's cheaper and faster, and they're going with that. But no, but you really like the old metal, and the old model. It has sentimental value, and that's the one your dad took you on, and and he was running the company or whatever, and you don't want to give that up because you have this emotional attachment to whatever it is, and just needing to be right at a basic level, which God, I could go into that. Never mind about a disease or virus epidemic. To me, the biggest, it's like Elon Musk said, the biggest epidemic, really, when it comes down to it, is the mind virus of needing to be right. I call it rightitis. Like there's an epidemic of rightitis. I have to be right always, or I'll never, or my whole world cannot operate. No, but just like within this time, just discernment, true discernment, not fake discernment, not thinking you're being discerning by still actually relying, like telling yourself you have it, when really in reality you're still asking your neighbor over and over, how do I do this, how do I do that, asking other people, basically how should I live, how should I think, how should I act, what should I do about everything, or just more often than not. Maybe like you can get other opinions here and there, but you really have to like decide for yourself, whoever you are. What do I believe? What do I want? What do I believe? What are my motivations? What am I looking for? What are my goals about anything? And nobody else can make those decisions for you. So why on earth would you rely? Everybody's living their own life. Nobody else can live your life for you. Is another part of it. So yeah, these are just some thoughts I had about true discernment. Thanks for listening. Take care.